In this course, I'm going to teach you how to bring women home from the daytime environments. Now, when I say daytime environments, I mean all of those areas that are less social than the club, but with a few exceptions, okay? So I'm referring to areas like coffee shops, shopping malls, stores, parks, the gym, college campuses, major street intersections, grocery stores, and pretty much any area that resembles the ones I just mentioned, okay? So I'm referring to the areas where women are walking around and where they're not necessarily expecting to be approached, but with the exceptions of, let's say, professional settings, network events, your corporate job, or anywhere else like that, because those areas do have bad consequences for screwing up, or at least they can, right? You could get fired, you could get asked not to come back to those events or anything along those lines. And since I don't want those happening to you, I don't want any of that happening to you, even though it's really not that likely with my method, there's still always at least some chance that it won't work out so well, especially when you're first learning this. So it's just not worth it. So no approaching chicks at your job, no approaching chicks at like charity events, hardcore, and inviting them back to your apartment within a first minute a meeting. Even though you could do it, that's not what I'm teaching here, okay? Overall, it's just not even worth it because there's so many other options out there where there are no possible consequences, okay? Unless you really know what you're doing, right? Like these day game environments that I'm talking about, they don't have consequences. At the very worst case scenario, she walks away, she doesn't like you that much for whatever reason, and it's not a big deal at all, and you'll just move on to the next girl, right? And hopefully that one will go even better. Okay, so I really hope that makes sense because now what I want to do is I want to talk about what this course is for, and I want to talk about how to learn it. Okay, so what's this course for? So if you think back to all of those times where you were simply going on about your life, you were shopping, you were walking home, maybe you were on the train, and then you suddenly saw a woman and you really wanted to meet her, right? And you just didn't know what to say, you didn't know what to do in order to start that conversation and then lead it somewhere sexual. Well, that's what this course is for, okay? It's for teaching you how to land those women, how to get them into your bedroom, and then how to get them into your life to the degree that you want them to be, okay? So that's what I created this whole thing for. Now, as far as how to learn this course, I know that I have separate courses, like one for the day game, one for the night game, one for dates and managing rotations and so on. And the reason why I did that isn't because the way you're going to interact with the girl is going to be completely different, right? They're really not all that different, to be honest with you. But I did that because there are subtle differences. And if you acknowledge them and know them very, very well, they're going to make you way more effective, okay? So for example, the way you'd lead a girl home from the gym is fundamentally going to be the same way as the way you'd lead her home from, let's say, the nightclub, right? It's not going to be that different, but because there are differences in the specifics, okay, because they're different environments, different things are going on, they have different agendas for the day or the night, whatever's going on, they have a different set of expectations. And to make sure that you're fully good to go no matter where you're at, I want to explain the specifics of the daytime here, okay? So you may have noticed that in the night game course, that the videos tend to be a little bit longer with some videos, right? That's why, because I put most of the content in the night game course, and since the conversational structures and the sexual structures are really not going to be that different depending on the environment, right? It's mostly dependent on the girl's mood, right? And it's dependent on what she's ready for. So for example, like if you meet a girl in the nightclub and she's in a way more social mood, or like the obstacles you have to deal with, right? They're going to be different depending on the environment and what her mood is like to be in that environment. However, if the environment changes and she's in the same mood, like she's in a really social mood in the daytime the way she would be in a club, by all means treat her like it's night game, okay? So I hope that makes sense. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit on all the specifics of the day game, and then I'm going to briefly reference back to the points from the night game sections. This way I don't have to repeat myself in full detail over here and just make you listen to it again. But if at any point you want a further explanation, I'm not being totally clear, then by all means head over to the corresponding video in the day game section, okay? Meaning if a topic wasn't clear on opening in this section and you want a better explanation, head over to the opening video in the night game section, and same thing for, let's say, the vibing videos, and same thing for the leading your home videos, and so on, okay? So I think that should make a lot of sense. Worst case scenario, you have the Facebook group and you could always write to me there and I will be sure to respond to you personally, okay? So without further ado, let's get into the next video.